Okay, so it's good to hear that everything is streaming fine. So let's start our live discussion. First and foremost, a very good morning to each and every one of you. So today's topic for presentation is what's your focus? So I'll give you some options. Please let me know what your focus is. You're preparing now, you'll be giving entrance this year or the next year, or you'll be taking up some exam in one or other format in the process of this dental career. So, what's your focus? Do you want me to give options or can you answer? I think you can answer without any options, right? So, what's your focus during this preparation phase? Hi, oh, very good morning. So, what do you think is your focus on? Is your focus on getting good ranks, good marks, or start a successful clinical practice after completing your graduation or post graduation, or entering into academics? So, you might have different goals, objectives, and so on and so forth. So, what's your focus? Okay, I see some of you saying process of preparation. Very good. Good marks, good clinical practice, good academician, right? So each one of you have your own tailor-made specifications. So let's start with this preparation phase. So when we start anything, when we start studying anything, let's start from our BDS first year. I'm sure in most of the colleges throughout India, 50% is a pass mark for theory. So let's assume one of you or one of us secured 48%, right? It means one of you failed 48%. So you secured 48% of the marks in one of the exams. So what would be your focus? I mean, if this session is coming from your side, it will be more and more awesome. Take my word. So if you secured 48%, 50% is the pass percentage in that particular theory exam or objective exam or whatever the format of exam is, what would be your focus? The results are out, you got 48%. So what will be your focus now? Okay, you want to work again and do best? Is that your focus? I mean, can you be more specific? Priyanka, really appreciate your frank answer. In fact, I was expecting the same. To pass in that exam will be our focus. See, let's be very practical. Let's talk in terms of philosophy. Let's talk in terms of principles, but a bit later. But let's deal with practicality first. When one of us, let's assume if I secured 48%, my focus would be on clearing that exam, isn't it? So let's suppose in supply, as Priyanka said, you got 50%. You feel very happy, you feel delighted, you feel enthusiastic, and you'll have that sense of relief, isn't it? Now we have another exam. Now, what would be your focus? Keeping these past experiences in mind, previously you got 48%, you failed, and then you cleared the exam in next attempt, and there is another upcoming exam. So, what would be your focus this time? You want to go for reevaluation if you got 48%? I don't think it really works. Recounting, reevaluation, grace marks. What's this nonsense? I don't know. What is this grace marks? I mean, who is someone to give or grant grace onto us? Yeah. So if you secured 50% uh, and then you cleared the exam, what would be your focus in the next exam? I'm sure it's a very simple question, right? But difficult to answer. So obviously you'll try to aim for next level. That is, we have till 65% first class, right? First class, below 65 second class. Okay, we'll try to aim for first class. So let's assume you got 62%, right? Then the next exam. So 62%, and then you still will be focused on clearing that hurdle of 65%. And let's assume you secured 70% in the next exam. Okay. Starting from first year, okay, let's assume 70% in third year. And then in final year, now having loads and loads of experience, now you're planning to top the university. So let's assume you got university top 88%. You might be thinking that I'm kidding, but no kidding. In fact, I have seen students securing 93% in dentistry. I'm talking about dental courses. Theory or practical, 93, 94%. I mean, if you're a pet student, anything is possible, isn't it? So 93%. Yeah, obviously to get better than the previous one, as Amrita already mentioned. Very good. So 88%, do you think you'll be satisfied? Let's assume you have one more final exam, and then obviously you will be aiming for 100%. Let's take for example, so in final year the student got 88% university top. Next comes the entrance objective where there is a possibility of scoring 100%. Let's assume in one of the mock tests the student scored 100% or 100 marks out of 100, 100 out of 100. For sake of our convenience, we are dealing with in percentages. So do you think the objectives will be fulfilled? So once you score 100% in one of the mock tests which I or someone else conducts, do you think you'll be relaxed, happy? What would be your focus when you score 100%? Please answer this question. What would be your focus if you had scored 100% in a mock test? You'd be happy? Obviously, you'll be happy. It's like a temporary moment, right? So, what would be your focus? You'll remain happy forever? I don't think so. When it comes to practicality, you wish to continue the efforts. Yes, as Pooja mentioned, we wish to continue the efforts and we want this every time. So, the point here is where does this stop? So, where does this stop? If you observe carefully, there is no stopping point here. It goes on and on and on till you feel stressed up, till you feel negative. Because the irony here is you say you're happy, but I frankly believe that that happiness which you experience is overpowered by various other negative factors. What if I don't get 100% in the next exam? What if, see, and another interesting ironical context is if everyone gets 100% in that particular test, let's assume I conducted a mock test, every one of you got 100%. Would you be happy? I mean, please frankly answer. Would you be happy? Yeah. So I hope you got my point. So is there any stopping point to this? No. Because the irony here is in this particular situation, no matter how much you score, you can never be happy. You can never be satisfied. You can never feel enthusiastic. You can never feel motivated. Maybe temporary motivation might be there, but these marks as a source of motivation is a very, very bad idea, as we have been seeing now in this entire discussion, right? So 100% of the marks, you're very happy. What if everyone got 100%? You would be very unhappy. We would be very unhappy, isn't it? So, aren't we missing the point behind all of this? So, that's the focus of this entire presentation. So, what should you focus on? Marks? Definitely seems like a bad idea because you've seen marks focusing on marks leading to negativity, stress, frustration, even depression. See, most of you might theoretically think that these things help you stay motivated, but in vast majority of the cases, in most of the students, based on my experiences, based on my observation, and I'm sure you might have experienced and observed the same, it's all negative. It's all passivation. It's all panicky. It's all kind of rat race. I'm not trying to blame you for this. You're not to be blamed. It's largely because of the influence of society. The moment you're born, right? The moment you grow up, the moment you're in LKG, UKG, you're conditioned. We're all conditioned to believe that it's all about getting first or second, not even second. Even second doesn't matter, right? We often hear parents or relatives saying, you should come first, you should get a trophy, as if this were like a competition. They say, beta or beti, just try to get first. Kana, kapada, makan, jarurat nahi hai. The first aane jarurat hai. So that's how we have been conditioned. And once we're conditioned in a particular way, do you think we're going to change that easily? Do you think we should really need this session? There are very challenges which we have been facing right from the beginning. It's because of this conditioning process, right? We are made to believe that it's all about marks. And very unfortunately, I heard from one of my students saying that if I'm not scoring marks, high marks, then what's the point of learning? What's the point of studying? So we come to such an extent that we're giving undue importance to all this. I'm not saying marks are not important. Of course, the qualifying criteria, the basis on which you are being provided admission into postgraduate courses is based on these marks. But what should be your focus? What should be your area of focus so that you'll get marks, and most importantly, you'll enjoy the process? So in this entire discussion, what's the point of these marks? Can anyone please answer? What's the point of scoring these marks? Why do you have this grading system? I'm waiting. I'll wait. No problem. I'll wait. I want you to think and answer. Why do you think we have this grading system? Why do you think we have these marks? To gain knowledge seems very soothing to hear. But when it comes to practicality, I don't really see that happening. 2020 series, which we launched recently, obviously, our focus will be on scoring 5 out of 5. But how many of you are actually perceiving the things which you're learning in the process? If you are doing that, it's a very good sign. But if you are, carried on or carried away by those marks or ranks, it's a very unfortunate scenario as it only leads to stress and negativity. And as I said, it's all because of the conditioning we have been receiving right from the childhood. And we have the choice to break that conditioning and come out of it and look at the larger picture. The point behind all of this, that's nothing but learning. But are we really focused on learning? So that's the question which we need to ask ourselves. And the funny thing is, even if you get more marks, it doesn't necessarily mean you know everything. The best example which I can give you is Sanskrit. In plus two, plus one, plus two, in southern states especially, we have this Sanskrit as one of the subjects, and millions of students. When I say this, I'm not exaggerating. Not hundreds, not thousands, not lakhs, but millions of students, including myself, scored 90 plus marks out of 100 in Sanskrit during plus two. I scored 97 or 96, I guess. There are students who scored 98. There are students who scored 99, but not 100, but at least 99. And if you ask me or one of them to speak in Sanskrit or write in Sanskrit, it's all zero. So, what's the point in scoring marks without actually learning? Then, why is there so much of focus on this scoring system? It's because we celebrate this score. We celebrate these ranks because it's a very good marketing strategy. I mean, if I say I have more ranks, obviously more students will come and join. Most of them are least bothered like what he is actually teaching. The only thing or the only focus there is he getting ranks? I mean, is he a rank maker? What nonsense is this? What nonsense are we trying to discuss? I hope you got my point. So even if someone is getting marks, does it mean they're learning? Sanskrit as a best example where millions of students throughout the country score very high marks and yet are not able to speak or write in Sanskrit, even simple phrases. It's not me saying. Look at the survey results of PISA, which we have discussed way back a few years ago, Program for International Students Assessment, where we stood in that entire ranking system when 73 or 74 countries participated. So it's very unfortunate. And we need to break that bubble. We need to break that conditioning. It's not easy, but with time and consistent efforts, we all can. I'm not asking you to do impossible things. I'm just asking you to look at the bigger picture and not to miss the point behind the scoring system, which is nothing but learning. 2020 series, the best example. You have been provided questions, key, and explanations. What's your focus? Scoring 5 out of 5? Or if you score 4 out of 5, you're worried that you should, or you missed out one question? Or is your focus on learning irrespective of how much you score? That really makes hell lot of difference. If your focus is on marks, as we have seen, it only leads to stress, negativity, passivation, demotivation, frustration, panicky, and whatnot. And we are simply afraid. We are simply afraid. And if we focus on learning, we're learning not just for sake of this, but we're learning for sake of our progress. And if you have this picture in your mind, I mean, you'll be a troubleshooter. You'll start innovating either in your clinical practice, either in your teaching methods or methodologies. When I say innovation, it doesn't mean world changing. I mean, at least in your clinical practice, at least when you're dealing with your students, at least when you're writing articles, at least when you're interacting with people. Any simple innovation is life changing if it is life changing for you, it not be for the entire world. How do you get that? How do you get those thoughts? How do you actually be a troubleshooter? I mean, once you focus on the larger picture, the point behind all of this, that is learning. It can be any subject, it can be any topic, it can be any concept. Having said that, there are certain things to be memorized. There is nothing wrong in it. But are we learning and trying to apply them in our routine clinical or academic practice? Isn't that the point of studying? Isn't that the point of investing our valuable time in this entire preparation phase? Not just this 1 year, but right from first year BDS? Instead, we were told that, 50 is pass percentage. We have these pet students and all. 48% focus on just clearing the exam. When you score 50%, why not try for second class? When you get second class, why not try for first class, distinction, university ranker, university topper, 100% of the marks, NEET PG ranker, and so on and so forth. And after 5, 10, or 15 years, you'll not even remember your marks. And all that really matters is what you have learned and the time you have invested in learning during your learning phase. Don't you think so? Isn't that the whole point of this learning about? The whole point of this grading system about? So, this is something which I want all of you to focus on and to just give a thought. Just give a thought. Marks are important, there is no doubt in it. But if you focus on marks, as I said, it only leads to negativity. But if you focus on learning, you'll have this couple of good things happening, and marks and ranks eventually follow, isn't it? So, this is the entire focus of this presentation. And I would love to hear from you guys as well. By the way, don't ask me to speak or write in Sanskrit. I said I got good marks, but I have learned almost nothing in Sanskrit. And we used to have an English teacher, with all due respect, we used to have an English teacher who used to teach excellent English in terms of grammar and all. But when it comes to speaking, when it comes to writing, there used to be so many errors in his notes or in his teachings, in his or her teachings. That's the kind of scenario we are in. So, don't you think it's our responsibility to overcome that and focus on the task at hand? So, that's the larger question which I'll be leaving unanswered in this particular session. So, I'd like to hear from you. Yeah, first of all, a very good morning, all of you. I know it pains to hear all of this. It really pains to hear all of this. You might think this guy cleared his exam, now he's talking all this nonsense. But even during my entrance, I firmly believed in the same. And during the schooling and all, it was entirely different because of lots of parental friends influence. It was only marks and marks. But as you grow on, as you keep applying your mind, you'll understand the fact that you're learning. I mean, what's the point in just getting marks without actually learning? These mark sheets, these rank cards serve no purpose. I'm telling you very boldly. These rank cards, mark sheets serve no purpose in your future life. It's all about how much practice you have. It's all about how much you have learned during your initial years, isn't it? Isn't that the point? Exactly. Sohini says she wants to focus on the process of preparation. Very good, Sohini. So Vaishnavi says her option is to gain knowledge and also secure seat as well. Of course, that happens. That happens as a consequence. Marks, ranks, admission is a consequence of the time which you invest now during preparation for learning. Danya says, if someone scores 48%, Danya says, find the fault in previous preparation and then blame the person who is responsible for that. That would be a very smart strategy. Or we can find fault and use it to enhance our preparation. Good. Yes, maybe competition for some will enhance their preparation. The same happened to me during my high school as well. In fact, because of the competition among our peers, we try to perform much better. But it's not about our efforts. Our efforts are always there. If there is competition, yes, efforts are there. But are those efforts towards scoring marks, towards focusing on scoring marks? Because when I say you focus on scoring marks, we try to mug up things, we try to buy hard things, we try to cheat, right? So competition is good. Healthy competition is good. There is no doubt in it, because competition will enhance your capabilities without any doubt. But with that competition, we'll be trying to put some efforts, but are those efforts in right direction? So that's the focus of this entire presentation. Are your efforts towards exclusively securing more marks, or is it towards learning? Because as I said, if your focus is on just scoring or securing more and more marks, the simple logic would be to by heart key and explanations. Just memorize as much as you can. Thank nature, and nowadays the pattern of entrance is emerging to such an extent that even if you memorize key, previously it was like that. If you memorize key to particular questions, they used to come in exam, used to gain marks. But nowadays, it's all changing. So it's all about applying. It's all about application, clinical based, image based, right? To what level you have been understanding. So we are gradually emerging. And if you all gradually emerge and shift your focus towards learning, obviously you'll get all the marks, all the required marks. Yeah, competition is always good as long as it remains healthy. But previously I said you got 100%, you're very happy. But if everyone got 100%, you're not happy. Does it mean it's healthy competition? So that's something which we should discuss some other time. Yes, I completely agree with Pooja. And Priyanka says, I guess the cycle of life about getting marks, we never get satisfied. I mean, as I said, if we shift our focus towards learning, we can achieve satisfaction without any doubt, without any doubt. And Pooja says, marks are also havoc in our society, and compared it to our knowledge, Indian education is so much negative and depressing because we are unfortunately conditioned right from our childhood into believing that marks are everything, ranks are everything, and we need to break that cycle. It happens only when we start evolving and changing ourselves first. Having said that, doesn't mean that one who focuses on learning doesn't get marks or ranks. That would be a natural consequence. So focus on the right things. Either if you need to focus on marks or you need to focus on learning, the efforts which you implement would remain the same. But if your efforts are in right direction, you'll be enjoying the entire process and would be maximizing your potential. Gunjan, yes, you can have any digit in your mind. So Gunjan says, totally agree to what you said, sir. Now my question is, should or shouldn't one have one particular digit in his or her mind along with gaining knowledge? I mean, it's always good to have a particular digit, and I would say top rank, All India rank one. No other target, no other digits, no other marks, no other percentages or percentiles. Just have this one digit in your mind. That is number one. Assume yourself to be the topper. Use that to power yourselves, or use that as a source of your intrinsic motivation and keep going. What's wrong in it? There is nothing wrong in it. So I see 18 people like this, and one of you disliked it. I know it's a very painful topic, but this is something which I want you to sincerely try to explore. I don't want you to follow whatever I'm saying just like that. I want you to explore. I want you to focus on why we are discussing this. which is your priority. And depending upon your priority, you will have or you'll experience the consequences. And always remember, you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose towards focus on marks or towards focus on learning. It's all your decision, ultimately, isn't it? Don't you think you have that power to choose? Okay. So these are some of the topics which I wanted to highlight, and also I prepared notes. I hope I missed nothing. Yeah, I think for the first time I completed 100% of everything. And let me conclude with this: symbolism versus substance. I mean, in a country like ours, in a culture like ours, we are so much occupied by this drama, entertainment, that we give due importance to symbolism, humbug. We say Haravidi humbug, entertainment as such. We want a grandeur. We want it on a large scale. We want good marks so that we can reveal to others. It's all about extrinsic. Even if we get all India rank one, you're happy that you can reveal it to others and then feel proud. It's all being derived extrinsically, which is very unfortunate. So it's all about symbolism. Our parents will be proud, our friends would be jealous. It's all about symbolism. But what about substance? Are we trying to build upon the substance? So that's something which I want you all to think about. And then, as I said, you all have the power to choose, to choose wisely. Symbolism versus substance. Okay, so let's conclude our live session, and it's been a wonderful experience interacting with you. And also, it's really good to see your comments and to see and listen to your perspective in the form of comments. Really appreciate all your enthusiasm. So, wish you all a great day. Happy Sunday. I'll be coming up next week with a couple of live sessions depending upon the time availability. Just keep a tab on our Telegram updates group as well as Google group. Okay. Yeah, and those who are not there in our updates group, you can just drop a mail. You can join our free updates group for all these latest updates. Take care. Have a fantastic day ahead. Happy Sunday. Sohani says it really hurts, sir, the fact that teachers enter class and asks who topped this year and ask questions to him or her. Doesn't let others try even. I really understand your pain, Sohini. I can tell you, even out of my experience, it really hurts a lot. Teacher comes, asks who is the topper, him or her, and then asks them questions directly. That's very true. It's because we're all conditioned, you know. But you have the power to choose. You have the power to choose. The funny thing here is if you carefully observe, I talked about pet students, the favorite students who often get 90%, 93%. And if our Indian constitution allows, they'll even get 101% of marks. So that's a different story. So it's like, you know, in case of theory exams, university theory exams, your marks, in case of practical exams, your university exams, marks are in hands of those at someone's mercy. It's all subjective. So don't bother about how much you score in these university exams. Stay least bothered. I mean, stay least bothered. Stay bothered, but least bothered because you have to pass, right? Passing is very important, or else you'll not be promoted. So there is a link up, so we are concerned about the same. But when it comes to objective exams, right, it's all about your talent. No one is going to subjectively influence you or shower blessings on you. No grace marks. So, objective exams, the beauty of these entrance exams or the objective exams is that you can score based on your understanding, knowledge, and talent. And no idiot can come and subjectively intervene or affect your marks, isn't it? So, we have objective exams. Thank nature for that. And let's hope almost every exam becomes objective in nature. So this concept of pet students gets nullified. Exactly, Danya. Exactly. The people around us are more interested in knowing the marks and ranks and taking it as an opportunity to criticize rather than encouraging a person who is trying to learn. I completely agree. That's true. In fact, for that matter, even in our homes, our parents evaluate our performance based on marks, based on ranks, isn't it? That's a harsh reality. That's a harsh reality. I'm not saying everyone, but in most of the homes, which is a harsh reality. Okay, guys. So it was lovely interacting with each and every one of you, and you're more than welcome to get back through mail at proudtobedentist@gmail.com for any further queries or assistance. So, symbolism or substance, the choice is in your hands, and you have seen carefully that irrespective of how much you score, how much you crack, you always stay worried, isn't it? Okay, guys, take care. Love you all.